welcome everyone. Thanks for spending some time with us today. We are going to look at auditing clinical research studies. So we're going to look at an overview of auditing, how it differs from monitoring, how we use auditing as a compliance tool. So what we'll be talking about today, as I mentioned, we'll talk about how quality assurance differs from quality control and who is responsible for each of these engagements, who gets audited, and the factors and metrics for assessing when or why we want to audit. We'll talk about guidelines on how the FDA trains its investigators, inspectors, to audit clinical investigators, sponsors, CROs, monitors, and IRBs. And we'll also look at some of the recent non-compliance trends that the FDA has seen when they've gone in and done their bioresearch monitoring or BIMO inspections of those entities. So to get started, we're going to talk about what an audit is. ICH defines an audit as a systematic and independent examination of trial-related activities and documents. So when we look at this language, we see that it is noted as a determination to make sure things were done appropriately. And it really places us in a reactive position where we're coming in after the fact. And historically, auditing has been going in after the fact, whereas monitoring is more in real time. We are working towards and making good headway on having these audits be more real time, having them be in process, and having pre-qualification audits. We are going in to assess whether the work is being conducted appropriately, has the capability to be appropriately conducted, or if it actually was. And at that point, if we're going to be using audits as a compliance tool, we're already behind if we're going in after the fact. So we're going to talk about using audits as compliance tools, how we can determine when and where to audit. So auditing is a review of systems, an independent review of systems. Quality assurance, again, planned and systematic actions that are established to ensure that that trial is performed and data are generated and documented and reported according with those compliance requirements for good clinical practice and any of the applicable regulations that we are going to be following. Monitoring, on the other hand, is overseeing the progress of that clinical trial. So it's an in-process procedure and ensuring that it is conducted in accordance with good clinical practice and the regulations and the SOPs. But as we see, it puts monitors in the thick of it. They are involved in those day-to-day operational techniques and activities that we see as part of quality control. So quality assurance as auditors, quality control, those monitors, we, as you notice, are working towards the same goals, but we have a different approach in terms of when we come in and, as we'll see, what it is we're looking for. It's important to note that monitoring occurs under the umbrella of quality assurance. So we know that auditing and monitoring have to be separate and distinct. That's the independent part of that quality assurance. But when we go in and audit a site, for example, we are auditing everyone. We are looking at the investigator, we're looking at their staff, we're looking at the IRB and their interactions, and we're looking at the sponsor and the monitor and their interactions, as well as any other vendors like CROs or labs that you're working with. So quality control operates within or under the umbrella of quality assurance, because quality assurance is looking at all of these agents and making sure they're doing what it is they are supposed to be doing. We are independent and removed from them, but we're looking to see how well they function together. As I mentioned, both are focused on compliance. And those of you that I've worked with in the past know that what I like to think of in terms of our product in clinical research is not our investigational product, but it is getting credible data from protected subjects. So our product really is making sure that we have gathered the data that's required, and we've done it in a way where we've protected the right, safety, and welfare of those subjects. Monitoring and auditing approach that product in different ways. Where they come together is that quality improvement. So monitors are supposed to go out, assess things, determine if there are nonconformances that need to be addressed, work with the investigator to develop a plan to address those nonconformances and make sure that they have actually been appropriately identified and addressed.